how short is your fuse? I mean, are you the kind of person who just sits back and lets things happen, or are you the kind of person that gets annoyed at every little thing that someone does? Today I'm going to talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness is a bit of a weird subject. I was talking with my friend the other day, and they asked me, how do I know if I've forgiven someone? I mean, it doesn't really feel like it. If that person could just, forgive me as well, then, we'd all be good, because I know they've forgiven me, they know I've forgiven them, it's fine. Unfortunately, forgiveness doesn't work that way. Forgiveness is not a feeling, it's a choice. You feel happy, you feel sad, your feelings jump so often and so quickly. But forgiveness is a choice. If someone does something to you, you have two choices. You can either harbor it, you can either, if they hurt you or if they tell a lie about you, gossip about you, something like that, you can either hold that grudge or you can let it go and forgive them. There's two choices. Forgiveness is a choice. I know in my experience, I let things happen. I don't care, it's all good. Unfortunately, there are some instances where I find forgiveness is pretty hard. I'll just name two. Driving along, someone swerves in front of me. I'm a really placid person, trust me. I don't get in a fuss about almost anything. I am very, very relaxed. Someone cuts in front of me, someone tailgates me, someone beeps their horn at me, I change completely. I think of words that I never thought I would think of before. And yeah, it gets interesting sitting in a car with me yelling at other cars. It's kind of funny. I have two choices when someone does something like that to me. If someone tailgates me or cuts in front of me or whatever, I have two choices. I can either tailgate them back or road rage them and slow down just to annoy them, see what happens. It's rather funny. Or I can go, you know what, just move on. Forget about it. Who cares? You know what, it's done, leave it. And if I hold a grudge against them and I decide to road rage them back, that's not helpful for either of us. I'm going to get angry, they're going to get angry, I'm going to get more angry, they're going to get more angry, and then probably they'll stop the car in front of me and get out and bash me. The second option, where I choose to let it go, you know what, it happened, whatever. That is a much more desirable thing, because it lets me just think, you know what, it's over with, I don't have to deal with it anymore. They go on about their life, I go on about my life, I've forgiven them, it's done. Sure, a few choice words will come out and I will get angry, but I will, as soon as it happens, I just think, you know what, it's just not worth it. Continue with your life. The other person, this is one particular person who I find it incredibly hard to forgive. Incredibly hard, is myself. You are your own worst critic. If you do something that you think is stupid, you will beat yourself up. Well, I know I beat myself up so much about the stupid little things that I do. But you know what? I need to learn to forgive myself, because it works the same way. I've seen people hold grudges with other people. It started way long ago. Like 5 or 6 years ago, someone did something to them and they didn't like it. And they held a grudge. Then someone else did something. Then someone else did something. Then someone else. Then someone else. Then someone else. Over time, they've just built up all of these grudges, all of these things that people have done against them. and they've harbored it, and they've become so bitter. It's so difficult to hang out with just because they're so angry and they yell at you for everything, even though you may not have done anything wrong to them. And even though I may not have, you know, it might have been a small thing that I did that annoyed myself, and then I get angry at someone else for something that I really shouldn't. But because I'm harboring this anger against myself, because I'm harboring this grudge against myself, it just progresses and progresses and progresses. And eventually I will become a bitter person if I don't learn to forgive myself. Why should you forgive others? Well, that is a good question. I mean, like, obviously, you know, revenge is sweet, so they say. But, you know, you see in the news all the time people seeking revenge for something, and it just gets them in more and more trouble. As I mentioned, the more you hold a grudge against one person, the more likely you are to hold a grudge against another person, and another person, and another person, and you're just going to become extremely bitter. You need to learn to forgive. Make the choice to forgive. If you always think what other people, whether they accept you or whether they reject you or what their opinion is of you, you will never live your life. I told my friend, if you let people run your life, then you're really letting them ruin your life. If you don't learn to take control of your own life, if you don't make the choices to forgive, if you don't make the choices to live your life by yourself, you're letting other people control you. You're letting other people guide you in a direction that you probably don't want to go in. You need to learn to forgive, otherwise you're just going to become so bitter and so angry and so judgmental of everyone. It's not going to be fun. Trust me, I know. So, I'll end it there. Yeah, learn to forgive. It is difficult. It's a difficult choice, but like all choices, like the choice to quit smoking or to stop a bad habit or anything like that, the more you choose to forgive, like the more you choose to not smoke, the more you choose to stop that bad habit, the more you choose to forgive, the easier it becomes. And trust me, those who have learnt to forgive are so much easier to get along with.